Hey, yo, what's the deal, man? It's your boy Tag from PW Tag. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm in my bathroom getting ready, to shave. I mean, because, a nigga got mad hair on his face, you know what I mean? And, I gotta shave, you know what I mean? I gotta look good, you know what I mean? I gotta look good, you know what I mean? I don't want to be, looking like a hairy motherfucker. And plus, y'all motherfuckers know how it is, y'all dudes know how it is when you shave and, when you got all that hair on your face, you know what I mean? That shit ain't good, you know what I mean? Like, you just want to rip that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to rip it out like Hulk Hogan. Yo, speaking of Hulk Hogan, right? Yo, someone called Nicki Minaj on her live stream Hulk Hogan, yo. That shit was mad funny. Now, but yo, Nicki Minaj looked mad good. You know what I mean? But yo, the fact that someone called her Hulk Hogan and the way she responded, like, what the fuck? You know what it was? She had a bandana on her, right? Let me just say this a bit. She had a bandana on last night, right? And in that video that I saw. And so what happened was, she had a bandana and blonde hair, and so that's when someone decided to just say, fuck it. Let me call her Hulk Hogan, and that's what happened. Not me, but she looked good. She looked good. But speaking of, looking good and everything else, so if I'm running a wrestling promotion, right? If I'm running a promotion, right? I will always pick a character. I will pick someone who always has character. Not only a wrestler, but someone who has character, and a gimmick way more over a flippy wrestler. And the reason being is because I can get a lot more out of that character than I could with someone who does flips, right? Someone who does a lot of flips, who that's all they have to offer, right? So AEW has a lot of wrestlers that, all they do is flips. They got wrestlers who have character and gimmicks, but they don't expose them out to the public. They don't. In pro wrestling, especially here in this country, the in-ring aspect is not enough. It's not enough. You need more than just the in-ring aspect to get over in this country. You have to. Otherwise, like, nobody's gonna take you seriously in this country. And there are a lot of wrestlers, particularly for the indies, who all they do is, they do all this flipping bullshit. All they do is the flippy shit. They don't work on character, like there's no gimmicks, like there's nothing. There's nothing that is going to get them by, right? Best example, Ricochet. Ricochet is gonna be big heart for life. He's gonna stay big heart for life. Because, he's a flippy wrestler who doesn't have a fucking gimmick. The closest thing he had to it, I don't know what the fuck Ricochet's gimmick is. Ricochet, what is the definition of Ricochet? Ricochet is when something flies back at you, right? So like you throw a ball on the wall and it's gonna ricochet right back at you, harder than when you do it the first time, right? That's basically what Ricochet is. The term Ricochet. This gimmick, I don't know what the fuck this gimmick is. I don't fucking know. I read somewhere that he actually refused to be part of the. Let me just fill this out. Hold on real quick, guys. He actually turned down the chance to be part of the Hurt Business. He turned that down. I'm like, what the fuck? The Hurt Business to me was his best opportunity to show the world character-wise what he can really do, right? And he turned it down. And then I think also Lucha Underground when he was Prince Puma, right? That was the closest that you've seen to a gimmick of Ricochet, right? Other than that, what else can he do? What else can he provide? Like, he is horrible. Mic-wise, gimmick-wise, he's horrible. And this is why he's stuck where he's at. This is why a lot of these wrestlers are stuck where they're at. You know, because when you don't have a fucking gimmick, when you don't have an identity and stuff, you know, you're gonna stay stagnant. You know, Will Ospreay is the same thing. You know, I hear people say, oh, well, yeah, he could talk. He's a good talker and stuff. I don't know his fucking gimmick. I don't know his motherfucking gimmick. What's his gimmick? What is his gimmick? Huh? What is his fucking gimmick? I don't know what the fuck he's about. Like, there is nothing to, you know, Will Ospreay and stuff that connects me to right? There's nothing there. And I know someone's gonna say, oh, well, Tag, you're kind of a hypocrite because look at AJ Styles. Look at AJ Styles. Well, here's the thing. AJ Styles not only proved that he's a good bad guy, right? But also, yeah, I can say in the beginning of his career, yeah, all right, the phenomenal one, right? The phenomenal AJ Styles, or the phenomenal one AJ Styles, where he was in TNA, right? We didn't know what the fuck was his gimmick. Like, he was a guy who is phenomenal in the ring, who can wrestle, right? And he tried like different hands in gimmicks in terms of building a character, right? When he got to Bullet Club, that's when his whole persona and everything changed. You know what I mean? So, you know, from the time when he was in Bullet Club to now, like, I always remember him for that. You know, with the attire and everything else. You know, like this badass rebel that's like, who wants to take over the fucking business, right? Who wants to take over the promotion, right? So I can put him in there, right? You know, someone like Finn Balor, you know, the Demon. You know, the Demon Finn Balor with the face paint and, you know, the body paint and stuff. Remember when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know, he had, you know, like, they stuck out. He stuck out. This is what I'm talking about. You know, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is easily a good gimmick. Why? Because he's a big guy, and you're a big fat guy who could be a bully. You know what I mean? He could bully you, he could fuck you up and everything. And just the name Samoa Joe, I mean, that's another thing that people are missing. So I just noticed that in today's day and age, there are people who are missing certain things that makes them stick out, right? I don't see people with face paint anymore. I don't see people with one, you know, who have one name anymore. You know, and I should make a video about that. So I really should. Like, you know, there's no uniqueness in wrestlers anymore. You know, that's you know, that separates them from everybody else. You don't got that no more. You don't. You know, everyone has a fucking, almost every single wrestler has a, you know, they have either their actual government name or a mimic of a government name. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't got that anymore in pro wrestling. I think that's the saddest shit. That is the saddest thing too. You know, and again, like, you need something that is gonna, you know, that's gonna separate you from everybody else. And I would take a person with gimmick to separate from everybody else. Why? Because I know what I have with that person. And I know that person is going to get over, not only with the gimmick, but also wrestling-wise. You know, Joe Hendry, great example. Joe Hendry is over. He's over. Why he's over? Because look at the gimmick that he has. And he can wrestle. He can wrestle. LA Knight is another one, right? Look at the gimmick. He can talk, this stuff, and he can wrestle too. Shit, I'll even throw in Logan Paul. Logan Paul, and I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say about, you know, the controversy stuff. You know, whatever happened there, you know, it's kind of debunked, you know, with the dog and shit. But yo, the guy has a gimmick. The guy, we know his gimmick. You know, he's a YouTuber, you know, with so many followers, millions and millions of followers and stuff. And he's an asshole, right? But he can also back it up in the ring, right? You don't have that in a lot of these wrestlers at this point. You don't. You don't. Who you have in AEW, the only person I can say that they have that in, and he's not even homegrown, is MJF. MJF is the only guy who has character as of right now in AEW. The only one who has character who's over in AEW. Other than that, there's nobody else there. I would take a person who has gimmick over someone who is a flippy wrestler. Why? Because I can get a lot more out of the gimmick as opposed to someone who's gonna do gymnastics all the fucking time. It's just bottom line, B. It's bottom fucking line. You know, like you can't sit there and bullshit me and say, oh well, these indie wrestlers are the ones that that people like. Do they? Or is it the hardcores who they like? The casuals, they look at like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. So you gotta have something behind you. You have to. You truly have to. Especially if you're a big guy. If you are a big guy, right? If you are a big guy wrestler, oh yeah, you're definitely getting over. I'm definitely picking a big guy wrestler over a smaller wrestler. Not to say that I won't sign small wrestlers, because I would, of course, I'm not stupid. I'm definitely not stupid. But, big guy wrestlers, there's something special about big guy wrestlers that, has a presence at this point. They got presence. Just their size alone says enough. You know what I mean? It says a whole lot. If you notice, all the big name wrestlers that you see now that are big superstars outside of WWE, who's in movies, I mean, these guys are, Batista, John Cena, The Rock. I mean, these are big muscular guys. Roman Reigns is soon to be in that category. So you gotta think. You gotta truly think. Even if you have, even if you're a flippy wrestler who have a build, right? You will be put in a separate situation away from everybody else. And that's what wrestlers need. They need that. They clearly need that. So I'm gonna start, to do my shaving. I'm gonna start to finish my shaving and such. And this video will be posted up a little later. Alright, so I'm just recording this video almost as the Giants game comes on. Because right now it's 12:42. So about 18 minutes the Giants game is coming on. And I'm hyped up for that game. You know what I mean? The Giants against the Vikings. You know what I mean? I hope Big Blue does well, man. You know what I mean? Like, fuck Daniel Jones. Fuck Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones to me is very overrated. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Peace.